Welcome back to teleSUR English and our special coverage of Julian Assange hearing, his bail hearing today at the Magistrates Court. The conditions at Belmarsh bear no resemblance to those I find the world be put under the United States. Reviews prosecution arguments on Snowden's asylum updated cover numbers. Today, after his extradition was denied, Julian Assange is back in court requesting bail. The U.S. appealing the ruling wants him to remain in jail. After defense concluded its argument, the attorneys requested judges to release Assange on bail. Judge Belmarsh offered her opinion by reviewing 2010 to 2012 case when Assange's extradition was requested, when at first Assange went to the Ecuadorian embassy to avoid being sent to the U.S. The judge said, "I ruled not to send Assange to the U.S. The government has appealed. As far as of Mr. Assange is concerned, this case is not yet resolved." She says, "The U.S. must be allowed to challenge my decision." In this moment, we see live images of the outsides of Magistrates Court when Assange was having his hearing of bail application. The judge ruled out that he must remain in custody, so it means Julian Assange will not be released by freedom on bail. This was a petition made by his supporters and also by his legal team. The attorneys were presenting their application bail, but in this case it was ruled out, it was overthrown. In this case, we can see the supporters rallied and gathering outside the Magistrates Court. They were there to support them. We know that this case has been a decade since this case started, when WikiLeaks released and published several secret documents about the U.S. government, about Iraq and Afghanistan's war. In this case, WikiLeaks was accused, and also Julian Assange, of course, was accused of espionage. And also he faces 18 charges in the U.S. for espionage and misuse of government computer. We can see now the law enforcement outside the Magistrates Court is trying to release the people, to clear the site, clear the place, and take away all the supporters. We can see the press teams there, the press, and also the journalists there, trying to cover the outsides, the nearbys of the Magistrates Court. In this case, we can see the press teams. We have to remember, this is a case that had been in a decade over their legal process. They had been trying and trying for 10 years. Let's remember Assange. Assange has 2 kids and also has several supporters outside who expect another decision, but the judge ruled out that he is not going to be released. She ruled out that he must remain in custody. She said, "The conditions at Belmarsh bear no resemblance to those I find he will be put under in the United States." Reviews prosecution argument on Snowden's asylum updated cover numbers. 2 days after his extradition was denied, Julian Assange is back in court requesting the bail. Now in images we have the website defending Julian Assange. This website is supporting Assange. The title is Assange Defense. So there we can see every tweet, live tweet about this hearing. In this case, we can see the defense concluded the argument and they asked a judge to release Assange on bail. Also, the judge gave her opinion. Apparently, it was already prepared according to this website, to this tweet account. And also, it began by reviewing the 2010 to 2012, the case when Assange extradition was requested. We can see every minute of this hearing by tweet, live tweets on this page. Also, the judge ruled out not to send Assange to the U.S. Let's remember it was based on his mental health, his behalf, the possibility that he commits suicide. So in this case, the U.S. requested it. Now we can see the director of WikiLeaks. He's giving his statement. So let's hear. We are confronting technical and so audio issues with our transmission, but there we can see Christian Hofferson. He's offering his statements regarding the Assange's case. After the court denied him the requesting of bail, and to release him, we can see there his partner, Stella Morris, and also several supporters of Assange's case. In this moment, we can see it. We don't have the audio because we We're sorry that we have technical issues, but we also see the law enforcement in the place. We can see Christian Hobson giving his statements, offering his words. Let's remember that on Monday, British Judge Vanessa Baratzer rejected a request from US authorities for Assange, 49 years old, to be sent across the Atlantic to face 18 criminal charges of breaking an espionage law and conspiring to hack government computers. The charges relate to the release by WikiLeaks of hundreds of thousands of confidential US military records and diplomatic cables which US officials said put lives in danger, although Judge Vanessa Baratzer accepted the US legal arguments in the case. She said Assange's mental health issues meant that he would be at risk of suicide if he were extradited. The U.S. Department of Justice says it will continue to seek his extradition and will appeal against her verdict. Assange is currently being held in the top security Belmarsh prison in East London. We are trying to connect this sound to the images. We have the statements there outside the Westminster court.
Any perspective. It's inhumane and it's illogical. This denial of bail will, in most likelihood, will be appealed to the High Court within hours or a few days, and we will expect this to be overturned because, frankly, as I say, it doesn't make any sense from any point of view. I want to draw your attention as well to the fact that the United States has already indicated that they are seeing a defeat in this pursuit, this unjust persecution. Let me draw your attention to a statement by the very man who signed the first indictment in the Eastern District of Virginia, a man who is about to leave office. He was appointed by Trump. He stated that he was totally unsure that the case against Julian Assange would be continued under the new administration. He said, well, we spent a lot of resources on that. Maybe the new administration incoming will simply decide to drop the case. That's an extraordinary statement. It's an indication that they are, in essence, accepting this has gone way too far and it's about time to let it go. So the fight will continue. The fight for Julian, we want him out.
And now we're seeing images, live images about Assange's supporters and also founders and directors of WikiLeaks. We had the presence there of Christian Hobson, who is the director of WikiLeaks, the current director now of the WikiLeaks. Also, we had images about Stella Morris, who is the partner and mother of the two children of Julian Assange. We have there the images. We know the press is covering this. We know this is a case that had been over a decade since it started with the release of several documents of the US government and Iraq and Afghanistan wars. We know that all the eyes in the world are now over Julian Assange and over this court that has denied him his bail application. Now we can see the press